All right, you sons of bitches. Welcome to the Word on the Street podcast live. It is May, the fucking 16th, the year 2000 and chill. I'm here live coming at you, it's a Thursday. I apologize for my swearing already this early into it, but this isn't gonna be a show with the gloves on, this is a gloves off type of podcast going down here tonight on the Word on the Street. We're gonna be talking Nate Gate. He got suspended for using the word, quote, fag. We're going to be talking about all that shit, the repercussions. And we're going to be talking about Vanderlei Silva saying he wants to suck Chael Sonnen's blood. I'm going to be talking about bad MMA movies. Maybe we'll get into the fucking fights this weekend. Belfort versus fucking Rockhold. Who knows? I am here live once again with my co-host Jake from the MMA podcast. Jake, how are you doing?
What up, cocksuckers? It's actually Friday. We're an hour ahead of you in Florida. It's 12:41 right now. But I'm doing excellently. Other than this news coming across the wire about this pussy ass Bryan Caraway fella.
Oh yeah, and we will get to that. Jake coming to us from a Friday while I'm in Thursday. He is coming to us live from the future, people.
This is some Doc Brown bullshit.
I know. Also from the future, he is calling from Friday. It is our man, Yao, the Truth. Are you there, dude?
Yes. I have one thing to say. Happy freaking birthday to my favorite heavyweight, Alistair the Ream Overeem.
Oh, no shit. How old is that guy?
33.
30. That's not bad. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Huh. I would have guessed 38. I don't know why, even though he doesn't look old. But God bless you, Alistair. I know you're a fan of the show. You're listening right now. Happy birthday to you. Also, I'm not even actually sure if he's on the line. We do have a new guest here calling in for the first time to the podcast. Gavin. Gavin, are you there, man? You out there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. What's going on?
Not a damn thing, Gavin. Happy to have you on. He is, I believe is it just at Gavin Frost on Twitter if people want to check you out?
Yeah, Gavin Frost 361.
Gotcha. Gavin Frost 361 on Twitter. That's who we're talking with. Now, people, we'll get right into the damn show. We were going to have a guest on. Unfortunately, didn't, as is often the case here on the Word on the Street podcast. Sometimes the guests don't work out. Like I said, it is the Wayne's World of MMA. We were almost going to have Keto Andrews on. He's an MMA fighter. You might remember him from the pilot episode, the first episode of The Ultimate Fighter this season. He fought Kelvin Gastelum. He was unfortunate enough to be the one guy that got matched up with Kelvin, the dude that went on to win the whole tournament. It was a damn good fight. But again, we are actually going to have him on Tuesday now, along with Team Sun and Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey. That's going down on Tuesday.
That's why I hate the knockout round of the Ultimate Fighters. Look, find the 16 best guys and bring them into the house. Don't find the 32 best and match them up against each other, because that literally means you could be pitting up your first and second best people out of the entire 32. We don't know how good Keto Andrews is because he got matched up against a beast in Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah, he was unfortunate enough. His first fight to get into the house was against the guy that was going to win the whole damn thing. Obviously, you can't see that coming. You can't predict it. But I honestly believe, I'm not even bullshitting because he's going to come on the show. I think if he hadn't have fought Kelvin, we'd be spinning a different tune here altogether, because Keto Andrews is an excellent MMA fighter. Just check out his record. We'll have a chance to talk to him. Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey, vouches for him. So do I. That's what more do you fucking need to know, people? Anyway, it is the Word on the Street podcast. I am your host. Again, we have Jake, Yao, and Gavin on for right now. But if you want to call in, go ahead and do so. The number is 512-782-WORD. That's 512-782-WORD. All right, people. Now, breaking news in the MMA world. We'll just get to this. This is going to probably be the main topic. I don't know. It just happened today. For anybody not aware, Nate Diaz, UFC fighter, just became a troublemaker that's their MO, I guess. But this time, did he really deserve it, or was the backlash too much? Here's what happened. Today he tweeted, let me just bring it up here. Basically, Patrick Bam Bam Healy made his UFC re-debut in a fight against, Jim Miller? He beats Jim Miller at the last UFC 159. He beats him, spectacular fashion, gets all these types of bonuses. I believe one of them was submission of the night. It was a great fucking fight. He won $130,000 in bonuses, but guess what? He falls victim to being another fighter who tests positive for the evil drug and scourge on society that is marijuana. He failed the drug test, the post-fight drug test, marijuana metabolites found in his system. That's right, people. He, can you believe this guy, Patrick Bam Bam Healy? He lit a naturally growing flower on fire, and he had the nerve to breathe in the fumes. Can you believe that shit, people? So now, what else can you do? You have to take all of his money away. $130,000, people. He breathed in those fucking fumes.
You aren't allowed to breathe in the bad fumes.
No, it's
not allowed.
It's a flower, dude. And he lit it on fire, and he smelled what was coming out of it. And so now he's the bad guy, Patrick Bam Bam Healy. How dare you? They took away all his money, and of course Nate Diaz, a crusader for the truth, fighting for good justice, all that shit. He comes out and tweets today, excuse me. This story is just so deep. It's like an episode of Trapped in the Closet. Patrick Bam Bam Healy wins the fight.
Should I start playing a little Trapped in the Closet in the background?
If you have that music, that would be the shit.
You know I have that music, son.
Holy shit. Trapped in the Closet actually consumed my life for a good 3 months, back when the first 6 chapters dropped, by the way. I made money playing the whole thing through one night, acoustically, at a local coffee shop here in Austin, Texas.
One time in high school, I wish I was making this story up, me and like 3 or 4 buddies, we got so stoned, we acted out Trapped in the Closet 1 through 5. It was pretty magical, I gotta admit.
R. Kelly is one of my musical geniuses. He's right in the top 3 with Michael Jackson, actually. And I'm not even making that shit up. I recognize talent. Rumors be damned, allegations, this and that. They never proved anything in a court of law, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. This is the United States of America, people. But yes, we were talking about the epicness. The Patrick Healy is the one that starts off this whole episode with Nate Diaz, Nate Gate, alright? Nate Diaz has been suspended from the UFC for calling Bryan Caraway a fag, but I was getting into the backstory here. Here's exactly what happened, right? Patrick Bam Bam Healy wins his, I'll call it a debut fight. It's his re-debut. He fought in the UFC before, but that shit didn't matter. It was a long time ago. So, he wins his fight at UFC 159, and then Bam Bam Healy gets popped for smoking for smoking the weed, man. He's Bam Bam Puff Puff Give, you know what I'm saying? So they take away his $130,000 bonus. They just take it away. It's unfair. They're saying, he broke the rules, whatever, it's illegal. But, that's a lot of fucking money. And so, Nick Diaz, they gave his submission of the night bonus. They took it from Bam Bam and gave it to this guy, Bryan Caraway, another UFC fighter, who then, Bryan Caraway, he's lucky he's just getting that to begin with. But this fucking guy, he has to go out and just issue a statement saying, that he's against weed. It's stupid. He's never tried it, but it's this quote is fucking ridiculous. Maybe someone else has it. This guy is just such a bum. I refuse to. His words are shit, but basically, he gets the money from Patrick Bam Bam Healy, and then he starts bashing the guy for smoking weed. What the fuck? So, Nate Diaz, he's chilling over there in the fucking 209, taking it easy, smoking his own weed. He sees this go down, and I'm guaranteeing you this is exactly what happened. Nate Diaz is like, this is some bullshit. He's like, man, what the hell is Bryan Caraway talking shit about? So he tweets. I'll just quote it right now because it is pretty ridiculous. Nate Diaz tweeted earlier today, quote, I feel bad for Pat Healy that they took an innocent man money, and I think the guy who took the money is the biggest fag in the world. Now, people, he did capitalize, it's worth noting, he did capitalize the word fag for some reason. So, he's just
because
weighing in.
He was screaming it.
Exactly. So he's just weighing in that, you know, he feels bad for Pat Healy. He's just smoking weed, got his money taken away, and he thinks the guy who took the money is the biggest fag in the world. It's a fair statement, I guess. You don't know what he means. Now, people, we'll get into this right now with our guests. First off, what if it's true? All right, he got suspended, but what if it's true? Like, this Bryan Caraway guy, his relationship with Misha Tate, it could be a work. I mean, it could be a Hollywood, like, fake romance like we see with Tito Ortiz and Jenna Jameson. Everyone just bought that they were a couple until Tito finally came out of the closet. It was like at that one UFC where he said he wouldn't fight his friend Chuck Liddell because he was too in love with him or some shit. You guys remember. Anyway, what if that's the case? What if Bryan Caraway actually is a homosexual? I don't know. But there's also another issue here at hand. Nate Diaz's manager actually responded today. He said, quote, his name is Mike Kogan, Nate Diaz's manager. He said, what the fuck? Well, okay, here we go. Sorry. There's something wrong with my little sheet here. It's all crazy notes. Looks like a damn autistic person wrote this shit down. Anyway, Mike Kogan, Nate Diaz's manager, said, guess what? Quote, the word fag, at least in Northern California, and where Nate is from, means bitch. It means you're a little punk. It has nothing to do with homosexuals at all. So when Nate made the comment that he made, he didn't make it in reference to homosexuals or calling Caraway a homosexual. He just said it was a bitch move. I'll start off with Jake here, then we'll go to Yao, then we'll go to Gavin here. What is your take on Nate Diaz calling Bryan Caraway a fag? Jake?
Oh man, I've really been fading back and forth between listening to what you were saying and listening to Trapped in the Closet in the background. But I did listen to most of it, and I do know your question. Look, just like you were saying how wild it is that we're punishing Pat Healy for lighting a certain plant on fire, how stupid is it that we're thinking about punishing Nate Diaz for making a sound, or like fag? It's a sound you make with your mouth, and for some reason this incantation is gonna bring horrible things upon you. Like, look, if you want to talk about homophobia, what's more, like, what's worse? Either Nate Diaz saying the word fag, which he's obviously not insinuating that Bryan Caraway is a homosexual. He's saying he's a mark. He's saying he's a pussy. He's not saying, oh, I think Bryan Caraway likes to have sex with men. No, that's not what he's fucking saying. What's worse, that or when Dana White a couple years ago, during the Dennis Ballman fight, when Dennis was wearing basically a Speedo, and Dana White literally awarded $50,000 to the guy who knocked him out, saying, yeah, because the 5 minutes I saw him in the cage was 5 minutes too long. That was fucked up. Like, alright, Dana, what's fucked up? Looking at a guy's thighs? Like, I mean, yeah, it was kind of a stunt and it was stupid, but at the same time, you giving someone a bonus for knocking him out, that's way more homophobic than Nate Diaz calling somebody a fag because he took somebody's money off of a submission of the night that he didn't deserve. I ranted pretty hard on Bryan Caraway on the MMA Roundtable earlier this evening, and I'm sure we'll get into it, and I'll rant hard on Bryan Caraway when we get to his mark, guys. But as far as Nate Diaz goes, wanting to punish him for saying something is as stupid as punishing Pat Healy for lighting a plant on fire. And if they do cut him, if they punish him more than they punished Matt Mitrione for calling Fallon Fox a freak, which, disagree with Fallon Fox as much as you want, you can't call a transgendered person a freak. If you're going to punish Diaz more than you punish Mitrione, then Dana White has officially gone from a UFC president I like to a UFC president I don't like.
It's
and
bullshit.
That's the word. And that's the fucking word.
I hear you. Now, I just want to say, I did my research here. We did have a lawyer on the show, on the last podcast, Cheryl Hunsinger Jr. from Yuma United. So I'd like to think I know my shit, people. Now, I just want to say, before we hear any bullshit, we are using the word fag here tonight in quotes because we are just simply quoting Nate Diaz. Now, Yao, the truth. What's your take? You've obviously heard the news. What's your take on Nate Diaz calling Bryan Caraway a fag? Yo, what's up?
I'm actually kind of happy that anybody, stepped up and said something, because the way, okay, Bryan Caraway, he was able to get the submission money and everything, but he didn't have to come out and start bashing Pat Healy and everything. Like, he should have just kept his mouth shut and just, took the money and then just went away. But going out and bashing him, he didn't have to do that. So I'm kind of happy that Nate said something. But as far as him being suspended, I think that was a little too much. But if anything, his suspension will just be lifted like they did Mitrione's. I think what's happening is just people need to know that something can happen if, the fighters violate their rules or restrictions or anything. So that's what I think about it.
Word. Gavin Frost, you're on the Word in the Street podcast. What do you think about Nate Diaz calling Bryan Caraway a fag on Twitter?
That's just a Stockton attitude, man. I mean, Caraway's a fag to begin with. He fucking blocked me on Twitter, dude.
Oh, he did? What do you think that was for?
I don't know, dude. I tweeted something to Misha Tate, and I guess he got offended to it, and he even hashtagged and tweeted me blocked. So I was like, what the fuck was that bullshit all about? Nah, man. I mean, it's just, the word fag, like y'all said, it doesn't mean anything like, you being a homosexual or anything like that. It's just, a word of, a weak person, kind of doing something lame like that,
No, I hear you, man.
Calling out,
Jake, did you have something? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, as far as Misha goes, talking shit to her. When we had her on the MMA podcast, I thought it was hilarious. Like I think like 3 or 4 weeks before we had her on, Chris and I probably were making horrible jokes about like eating her like poop and shit. It was getting gross. And then literally we have her on 4 weeks later. Like, so how are you doing?
Shit. Yeah, I was gonna say,
we get dark on the MMA podcast sometimes.
I hear you. Listen to the MMA podcast. Just check them out on Twitter at the MMA podcast.
Simple enough.
Yeah. They're apparently just eating Misha Tate's ass or whatever the hell Jake was talking about.
That's how we do, son.
Yep. Sometimes you gotta get dirty, man. Speaking of, we do have someone from the Dirty South just calling in right now. I believe it is our friend Alan. Alan, are you there? You're on the Word on the Street podcast. How you doing?
Yeah. What's up, guys? What's up, Jake? What's up, Ramsey?
What up, buddy?
Yeah, man. What's happening, man? Also on is Yao and Gavin. And Alan, you're just joining in, but I've got to ask you, hopefully you've heard the news. What is your take on Nate Diaz calling Bryan Caraway a fag on Twitter?
It's free speech. People shouldn't be offended so easily. I think Bryan Caraway should have kept his mouth shut anyway. It's stupid to do something dumb when you know that you could lose all that money from your bonus or get your fight changed to a no contest. But, be happy with the money that you got instead, and don't be a douchebag and call the dude out.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, Bryan Caraway, he's got his priorities all messed up, and, I tried to tell Misha that, she's, when I broke up with Misha Tate, I did try to say, look, you're on the rebound, maybe you should, take some time off before you date someone else. She was like, no, this guy, he's a man's man. Well, apparently he is, according to Nate Diaz, a fancy boy, people. And even Ronda Rousey thinks he's a fancy boy. I do have a quote from her, our Bloody Elbow article, shout out. Ronda Rousey, speaking of Misha Tate and her boyfriend Bryan Caraway, had this to say. Quote from Ronda Rousey. Misha seems like a cool chick apart from her pet boyfriend. Caraway just seems like the biggest douche ever. And if you have a douche in your ear all day, you're going to adapt to that vernacular of douchebaggery. That's a pretty good quote. She went on, actually, Ronda Rousey did. Quote, that's partly what it is, but you can just tell, man. He's got nothing going on for himself except for her. And I think that she would be doing way better without him. I mean, why him? This random wrestler guy who never did anything in wrestling, never really did anything in MMA, holding mitts for Misha, who's fighting a world title shot. It's ridiculous. If you ever saw that in boxing, you'd laugh your ass off. End quote from Ronda.
Wow, bring in the heat.
Yeah, this was like 2 weeks ago. So she saw this shit coming. She's friends with the Diaz brothers in the 209. I'm sure they're banding together, but it's not looking good for Bryan Caraway, man. Those aren't people that you want to have against you. He is becoming the biggest mark in the UFC. Now, I do want to say, Caraway did, he got a lot of flack for his comments about weed and how he hates weed, and if he has zero tolerance for people who smoke weed. He's never done it, though, which is fucking ridiculous. Caraway did issue a tweet, in all fairness. I will read it right now. Even though it really doesn't help his case much, in my opinion, Caraway did follow up by saying, quote, my oldest sister is heavily involved in drugs and has caused many hardships on my family. And she started with weed. Don't judge me, you don't know my story. End tweet. Jake from the MMA podcast. Apparently, he's blaming his sister now. She's caused many hardships on his family, and it's all because she started with weed. What do you have to say about Bryan Caraway in general?
First off, I love how like he brought up his sister has really bad drug issues, and instead of instead of saying it's we care about her deeply, no, it's she's caused us a bunch of problems. Like, wow, way to be sympathetic for your fucking heroin addict sister. Number two, this is just another weak retraction from a stupid-ass statement similar to the one, if you do remember, when Ronda Rousey was about to fight Miesha Tate, Bryan Caraway, of course, had to step in, and when Ronda Rousey made the joke, after I beat up Miesha, I'm going to beat up her boyfriend, Bryan Caraway, being the classy gentleman he is, decided to go ahead and tweet, Ronda, if we fought, I'd knock all the teeth down your throat and break your arm, which is really a cool thing to say to a woman. It's a cool thing to, I don't care if you know the woman, if you don't know the woman, you don't tell a woman you're going to knock all the teeth down her throat and you're going to break her arm. That's fucked up. And of course, Bryan Caraway, of course I wasn't being serious. Like, so you're insinuating there was a chance you were? No one thinks you really were going to beat up Ronda Rousey, but you said some fucked up shit. And this is just another weak retraction from a weak-minded, quote-unquote, fag.
Could it be? Yeah, the truth. Are you a Bryan Caraway fan? What do you think, man? You're a guy who actually does not smoke marijuana, so you're not biased here. But is this guy being a little bitch here? What's going on here? He did threaten Ronda Rousey. He did threaten to slap her in the face, knock her teeth out, this and that. What do you think about that?
First, I have to say, I just think Bryan Caraway's a little upset that he didn't win the Ultimate Fighter. Mm-hmm. I think this is where all this is coming from. But as far as him threatening Ronda Rousey, that was a little ridiculous. He didn't have to say all that. I do remember that interview. I think it was like at the MMA Awards or something like that. But that was a little ridiculous. He didn't have to do that. That's like taking it to a whole nother level. Like, just let your girlfriend fight her. Like, you don't need to say anything.
It's like when Frank Mir said he literally wanted Brock Lesnar to die.
BJ Penn did the same shit too, though.
Yeah, but Penn meant it. Yeah,
that is true. He didn't follow up with it, though. That was a damn shame. That would have been a good fight, though.
Sorry, y'all.
No, it's fine. You guys have some good points. But But yeah, and then him with the whole marijuana thing. Like I said before, he should have just kept his mouth shut. You got the money. That's it. Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. Gavin Frost, this Bryan Caraway guy, he's a slap. He's just tweeting, "I ain't smoking weed. You're stupid if you do. I'm against it. This and that." He's collecting money off of it, though. You notice that? He's against drugs, but he's all for profiting off of it. That's drug money, according to my logic. But he's more than happy to take it. Gavin Frost, are you a Bryan Caraway fan?
Fucking hell no.
Do you think Misha Tate's hot?
What?
Do you think Misha Tate is a babe? Do you think she's hot?
Hot. I'd bang her.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That was going to be the next topic, but I figured I'd just bring it up right now. I think she's club hot. Like, if under club lighting, she's probably a hot ass bitch. But I don't know, guys. Alan, you're out there, man. Are you a Bryan Caraway fan? And how hot is Misha Tate, if at all?
No, I'm not. I wasn't impressed whenever he just coasted at his last fight before 159, and whenever they substituted him at 159, and I thought about the fact that I was paying money to see him fight, I was pissed because I hate that dude. I think he's terrible.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I was happy because that means that I got to see Misha Tate like 50 million times at the hotel.
Yeah, so you are a fan of Misha. What was this about? Did you get to see her in yoga pants?
Yeah, she was wearing tight pants all week, bro. They kept going to the ShopRite store right next to the hotel where all the fighters are going and getting food, and we were going and getting groceries. Yeah. And we'd see her and like Cody McKenzie go over there and get groceries, and she'd be wearing nice clothes. Huh. My little brother got a little picture with her. I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah, put that shit on the tweeters. Jake, would you have sexual congress with Misha Tate?
If saying that I would eat or poop earlier didn't make it clear, I definitely would.
Oh, okay. Because eating her ass is like third base, so you'd go for the home.
Oh man, if I'm going for third, I'm rounding third. I never stop at 3. You never stop at 3. You always got to round third. Come on, son. You know the game.
Yeah, are you into white women?
The third base coach is always waving you home, no matter what.
If Misha Tate hits on you, Yao, are you going to say no to that? What's happening?
No, I'm not.
All right.
But I could beat up her boyfriend, though.
No kidding, man. He is 135 pounds. Otherwise, I would have suggested that him and Nate Diaz fight. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Maybe him and Ronda can happen. I mean, if they both sign the dotted line, I'm not going to protest or say it's unfair because we all know what's going to happen with this fucking guy, man.
Actually, Nate and Bryan Caraway can fight. I mean, Bryan Caraway probably walks around 160. He can make 155.
You think he would, though, to fight Nate Diaz, a guy who has called him, quote, a fag? I don't think he's got the courage. I don't think he would accept that fight. I don't know, guys.
He's a fag.
Allegedly, speaking of homosexual acts, let's talk about the homosexual axe murderer, Vanderlei Silva.
I love that shit, dude.
I know, but it's so true. Every time you see Vanderlei, it's always some sort of gay comment or reference.
He always want to suck or fuck somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Like, it's not even like fighting or punching. He doesn't talk about that. It's always just something that could be construed as a homosexual reference. That's why he is the homosexual act murderer.
I want to fuck and suck Chuck.
Yep. And now apparently he said on Tuesday he wants to suck Chael Sonnen's blood. He wants to smell his blood. And he's also claiming that he never even got the offer for the fight against Chael Sonnen. He also claimed that he never even heard about Chael's 24-hour challenge that went down on Twitter, calling Vanderlei out, saying he would give money to his favorite Las Vegas school charity or something like that. I don't know what the fuck. Vanderlei claims he didn't know what was going on. He's totally clueless. He doesn't have friends or family, a manager, or anybody running his Twitter. It's horseshit, people. He did duck Chael Sonnen, the People's Champion. I just want to know what you guys' take is, your opinion on this. And basically, Jake from the MMA podcast, is Vanderlei Silva a fancy boy, in your opinion? Is he ducking Chael, or do you think they honestly didn't even offer this fight to him?
I think they did offer the fight to him. I think the fight is going to happen. Not only are Chael and Vanderlei trash talking, but when the UFC puts their trash talk on their own show, UFC Tonight, you're probably going to see the fight end up materializing. Vanderlei, I mean, he is one of my favorite fighters because of the way he fought back in Japan. And here, you know, he and Lieben, I love their fight styles, but their fight styles are not necessarily smart styles against certain opponents. And if he fights Chael, and I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of Chael more than I'm a fan of Vanderlei. Stylistically, Chael is a nightmare for him. Chael is going to take down Vanderlei at will, and we're basically going to see the first 4 rounds of the Anderson Silva fight all over again.
Yeah, the truth. Vanderlei Silva, the homosexual axe murderer. Is he a fancy boy in your opinion? Do you think he's ducking Chael? What do you think's going on here?
Look, Vanderlei Silva is not the first Brazilian that, you know, is trying to stall before they have to fight Chael Sonnen. You know, we've seen this with Anderson Silva. We've seen this with Vitor Belfort, and now we're seeing it with Vanderlei Silva. These Brazilians, they don't want to fight Chael Sonnen. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're afraid, but, you know, this is what happened. But Vanderlei Silva, the fight is going to happen. There's no way this fight doesn't happen. When Chael Sonnen calls someone out, they must fight.
Word. Gavin Frost, Vanderlei Silva, is he ducking Chael Sonnen? Is he a fancy boy saying he wants to suck his blood? He wants to fuck Chuck Liddell? What's happening?
I mean, they don't call him an axe murderer for no reason. I mean, he's a fucking living legend. You know, like Jake was mentioning earlier. You know, all the great shows and all the great fights he put on in Pride. I mean, they were very amazing. And, you know, it's what made him, you know, what he is today. I don't think he's ducking Chael Sonnen. I mean, I just think this is all scripted pretty much, and they're just trying to hype this up so, you know, it could draw a bigger audience and stuff. But, I mean, stylistically, you say Chael's a bad matchup for him. I don't think so. Vanderlei's got some really good jiu-jitsu. I see this being, you know, it's going to be a tough fight for Vanderlei because he's a little bit past his prime, but I think Vanderlei will come out on top.
Alan, you fucking met the People's Champion. You know he's serious when he called out Vanderlei Silva, but now Vanderlei's pretending he's never even fucking heard of Twitter. What's your take? Is he ducking the People's Champion? Do you think Vanderlei Silva is a fancy boy? What's the word on the street?
August 17th, the TD Garden in Boston. It's going to be on. They're going to fight. It's going to be a barn burner, but it's not going to be a barn burner where Chael stands up and swings away crazily like the Bryan stand work. It's going to be back and forth. Silva doesn't have, you know, he's not terrible at cardio. He's going to hang in there for a couple of rounds, but in the end, Chael's going to ground and pound him out. He's going to get the W.
Hopefully, you better answer that. Yeah, okay. Vanderlei Silva, we don't know what's going on, but it's only a matter of time before he faces Chael. That's my prediction here, and it's not going to work out too good for him at all, people. Not good at all. Next topic. Just real quick, it's the only fight we're going to cover about Saturday, even though it's one day away here. It is the main event that's going down in the UFC. Vitor Armstrong Belfort versus Luke Rockhold, making I believe it's his UFC debut. They're going to fight each other up in Brazil, Vitor's hometown. So when I hear this, immediately, you know how I am, people. I see a conspiracy everywhere. I'm paranoid. I think it's going to be a work. I just don't know what exactly is going to go down. I see shenanigans, definitely. This is a main event. Tells you all you need to know. A lot of money at stake here. Vitor Armstrong, do you think he's going to pull it off against a younger, quicker, bigger guy, Luke Rockhold? What do you think, Jake from the MMA podcast? What's up with this fight?
3 letters, TRT. Rockhold's a younger, stronger, faster guy, but Vitor has the experience, and when he's jacked up on that TRT, the experience plus that youthfulness, I honestly don't see Rockhold making it past the second round.
Holy shit! All right, yeah, the truth. Vitor Armstrong Belfort versus Luke Rockhold in Brazil. It's going down in a couple of hours. Who do you got and why?
First, I have to start off by saying the Black Zillions.
Oh, no.
The Black Zillions, my favorite team. You know, a lot of my favorite fighters on that team. And Vitor Belfort is actually a Black Zillion. So I have to be behind him 100%, which I am in all of his fights. I believe that he will knock out Luke Rockhold, and I'm actually a fan of Luke Rockhold. So this is not just a bias, opinion or whatever. I'm just, behind Vitor 100%, and Vitor is in the best shape of his life, people.
You think it's going to be a knockout?
Yes, either a knockout or a submission. He finishes Luke Rockhold. Everybody's saying, oh, well, if you just get Vitor past the second round, he's finished, he's trash. You think you're going to get him tired? Watch his videos on YouTube, and you'll see why.
I don't know. Gavin Frost, what do you think? Vitor Belfort versus Luke Rockhold. Who you got?
If I'm going to go with anybody, I have to go with Vitor. I've been a fan of him, for a very long time. I've been watching him since I was real young. You can never count out the hand speed of Vitor Belfort. I mean, just all it takes is just one shot, and lights out pretty much. But like y'all were saying, I think Luke Rockhold. I mean, he's proven that he's a legit contender. He fought Jacare in Strikeforce, and then recently Tim Kennedy defending his belt. Who knows what could happen in this fight? This should be a classic stand-up war, I think. But if anything, I'd have to go with Vitor.
All right, mostly Vitor so far. Alan, who do you think is going to win on Saturday? Is Vitor going to pull it off in his home country against the debut of Luke Rockhold?
Well, if that was his home country,
that's true.
I think Las Vegas and all that, Florida, it's where he's really spent most of his life. But I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to pick Luke Rockhold. I think Luke's size, I think his athleticism, I think he's going to keep Vitor at range. Vitor's going to, come out early in the first, try to explode on Luke. Luke's going to keep him back. Come out in the second round, and I think Luke's going to just, as the fight goes on, he's going to start to pick Vitor apart, kind of like John Jones did. And, somewhere in the third or fourth round, I think Luke's going to finish the fight at some point.
All right. Well, if I had to pick, again, I'm not going to be able to determine what kind of work it's going to be until the weigh-ins tomorrow. That's when I'm going to be able to judge exactly how it's going to go down. I got to see how Luke's going to look, how roided up Vitor Armstrong is. Then I'll be able to break it down for you, and I'll make my prediction on Twitter, the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter. But is there anything else on this card? I'm going to pour myself a little drink here, a little cocktail on the podcast. But enlighten me, people. We'll go around. Is there anything else on this card, any fights on Saturday that are actually worth watching or worth it? Damn, what you got anything, Jake? I don't even know.
I mean, this is a very shallow card. I was looking forward to Jacare versus Costa Philippou. Chris Camozzi is stepping in for Costa Philippou. Chris Camozzi is a heavy underdog. He's probably not going to win the fight. He's young. He's really green. He is going to have a good career in the UFC. I think he's got a record of something like 7-2, and the guy is only 7-6. And he's 7-2 in the UFC, and he's only 26. So he does have a bright career in front of him, but Jacare is just really hitting the prime of his career. We know he's one of the most dangerous guys on the mat. His jits are insane. And we saw against Derek Brunson, he knocked the motherfucker out in the first round. And I'm pretty sure that's the same Derek Brunson that stood toe-to-toe with Chris Lieben for 15 minutes. So, Jacare has got some fucking skill. We've been seeing these guys from Strikeforce come over and do work. I wouldn't be shocked if Jacare fought himself up to a title shot against Anderson Silva. He's that good. So if anything, I'm not really looking forward to any of the fights that much, but if anything, I'm looking forward to the UFC debut of Jacare.
Yeah, you've got me thinking, man. When was the last time that we saw an actual, like, jiu-jitsu, like, straight-up finish or impressive match in the UFC? Seems like it's been a while. It's mostly been, like, just straight-up knockouts. When was the last time we saw a badass, like, jiu-jitsu, like, skill being implemented to win the fight? Off the top of my head, I can't name a fucking damn thing.
Yeah, the most recent one that immediately pops out to me is when Paul Sass was giving everyone the triangle, but that was back in 2012.
Yeah, the only thing that comes to my mind is friend of the podcast, Mr. Kevin King Casey, in his fight. He was yeah, what's up?
Ronda Rousey.
Excuse me?
You're talking about seeing high level jits in fights?
Yeah. The armbar isn't really jiu-jitsu, though.
I guess.
You know what I mean? No, but Kevin King Casey actually was throwing that shit up the whole time. That's the last time I remember, like, someone actually utilizing that discipline. I think it's probably, I think the era of jiu-jitsu might be fading away from the UFC, to tell you the truth. That's another damn story in and of itself. Okay, so you guys think it's going to be the Belfort Rockhold fight. You guys think it's actually going to be a straight-up fight. I think it's going to be a work. If I had to call it right now, it's definitely going to go to a decision. And since it's fucking in Vitor's home country, allegedly, it's going to be a decision in favor of Vitor Armstrong Belfort. That's my prediction right now, but we'll see him at the weigh-ins here in a couple of hours. Right now, they're really fucking thirsty, those two guys. Moving on, people, I did want to just to talk about something real quick here.
Hey, Ramses.
What's up, dude?
Hey, I did want to point everybody's attention at one of the fights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Fabio Maldonado.
Tell us about it, dude.
He's, he's had those wars with, what's his name, Pekrajic. He's fought. I'm trying to think who else he fought. He fought Glover Teixeira. Yeah, he's a tough motherfucker. So he's fighting Roger Hallett, who is a guy that likes to stand up and throw. He's just a little bit too muscled up. But Maldonado is, looks like he has a good shot at this fight. Just watch that fight. Everybody, I think, I don't know what the order it is on the prelims, but it's Fabio Maldonado. And he used to be like a Golden Gloves, like boxing champion in Brazil. Okay. And he has a fucking chin, and he's awesome.
Are you willing to say that maybe it might be fight of the night? Are you giving it that much hype?
It depends on what kind of shape Hallett comes in. He's supposed to be like some really good, like American, like karate type guy. Yeah. But his first fight in the UFC, he did good in the first round, and then he's just like gassed out in the second because he's a really muscular guy. So, but it's got potential. It definitely looks like it could be the best fight on the prelims.
But you want to see how they look. Does anybody? Am I the only poor bastard that actually watches the UFC weigh-ins live? Is it just me speak now? Oh, you do, Alan?
I watch all of them, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I watch the press conference. I watch the weigh-ins. I listen to the media calls. Everything.
All right. So it's not just me. I'm not just crazy here. That's always good to know. Speaking of crazy, oh man, we do. In all fairness, if we get something wrong here on the Word on the Street podcast, we will admit to it. We'll own up. We'll do what we have to do. We'll take our suspensions, our punishment, our fines. I do have to issue a retraction, folks. A retraction on the Word on the Street. It was one of the last podcast we were doing, I believe it was last week, we had an individual call in claiming to be a girly MMA from Twitter. One of the hottest babes on the Twitter, allegedly. Just look her up, follow her right now, A Girly MMA on Twitter. I know it sounds like a fake name. That's part of the problem here, actually. But just look her up. You'll see some actual YouTube videos. Have you guys actually, anybody out there on the call right now, seen her YouTube prediction videos?
I have.
Yeah, how about those breasts, man? They seem pretty decent.
Damn titties.
I've seen them.
Yep. Okay. As soon as I brought up the tits, yeah, remembered right away. Yeah, of course you've seen them. You wouldn't forget this one. That's why I don't believe it, though. I think a girly MMA is a fraud. I think it is a big catfish Twitter account. However, we are issuing a retraction because someone claiming to be a girly MMA called in. And, we talked to this, quote, girly MMA for a while. Everything was going cool. Everything was all right. People were falling in love left and right. But I was sent a tweet the next day by a girly MMA herself on Twitter, refuting that it was her, saying it was a fraud. I don't know what to make of it, but, maybe I have to go with the Twitter babe that has the picture attached to it.
I think you should have her call in next time.
Yeah, see, that's
so we can hear who she really is and how she really sounds to actually verify and refute.
You know what? That's a damn good idea, Alan. And I have approached her about that. She is playing hard to get. Hopefully, she's listening right now. Girly MMA, you should come on for real. Defend your honor. Prove that it's you. Prove that you are indeed female and hot with glorious breasts. You should do this for the fans, for the UFC. So yeah, that is the retraction. We don't know if that was actually a girly MMA. I apologize to anybody who was offended. Whoever that is should call in again, though. If you have a case to make that you actually are a girly MMA, call in. And again, on a little side Twitter note there, I do apologize to Jenny Friedman for pissing her off on Twitter last night. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, that's right. We are going to play for the second time a new game on the podcast. It is sweeping the fucking nation, people. It is the opponent game. All right, people. We have it down now. I have the rules all down. We did have somebody did actually try to challenge. He came in here, tried to throw out a challenge. He did end up backing off. Jake, can you tell the people a little bit about that before we get the game started?
Yeah, last week the inaugural championship was up for grabs, and sorry to quote Chael here, but the man with the biggest arms, the man with the biggest charm came in and he won the belt. And I posted a message on Twitter to everybody: if you want the belt, you know where it is. Come and get it. Beat me if you can. And they won. Mr. Ross Finkelstein had been talking shit all week. We were talking back and forth. I was telling everyone to wear black because we were going to somebody's funeral. Ross was saying he was going to crush me. Going back and forth until about an hour before the show. Somebody decided to pull out of the fight. Someone realized that they were walking into a suicide, and that Ross Finkelstein kid, he made the smartest choice of his life. He has another week to enjoy his life, enjoy his friends, enjoy his family. Look, I don't think Ross is hurt. I think he's scared. Mm-hmm. Where you at, Ross? Come and get this belt. I'm gonna have it again next week. I'm not giving it up this week to anybody.
Jake, I challenge you right now.
Uh-oh.
Come and get it.
We have a new caller.
Come and get it, Lexi. It's right here. Come and get it.
Shit.
Is that Miss Lexi, Sexy Lexi out there? Are you on the Word on the Street podcast calling in to call people out?
Yes.
And drop F-bombs.
Yes. All right. Are we going to play the game?
Yes, we are going to play the game, but hold on 1 second. We finally have you on talking. I'm not just going to... Yes. Who's talking? Who's that?
No one.
Okay. Oh, I know who that was. What's up, Tito? Anyway, all right, people. We are going to play the game, but first, Lexi, just wanted to clear something up real quick. Were you? Yeah, I was claiming that you were doing something called snappy chatting him.
Oh,
What's going on with this? What is this?
We were talking shit about you.
Yeah. Oh, he failed to mention that. Yeah, what's the deal, man? You smiling in my face and stabbing me in the back? What's happening?
Yeah, he is.
Huh.
Oh, and he's actually Asian. He's not black.
Holy shit.
That's what you get out of those Vietnamese. We aren't sure if he's Vietnamese or Chechen, but we should know in a couple weeks.
He's got to be Chinese, man. He lives in New York.
Yep. Oh. Whoa, that's groundbreaking evidence there.
All the Vietnamese people live down here in the South in Austin and Louisiana.
That's very true.
I noticed I wasn't saying anything. Is he even still on the call, or did he cower out, just like Ross Finkelstein? Yeah, the truth, are you there, son? Wow. I don't know. Okay, we might not have yeah.
Either he's really
He's
offended.
black. He's gone. Gone.
He's either really offended, muted, or just like he had to go take a piss or something.
Who knows?
Out of his giant black dong.
Well, he definitely missed his time at the worst possible opportunity. I will move on without giving him any chance to defend himself whatsoever. It is the opponent game. We do have 5 players now. I will host the game this time. I will not participate in the game. That's just keeping it fair. Well, because I'm a fucking genius and I'd win every time.
Oh, no.
That's true.
I might play in the later rounds. If something weird happens, I might be the tiebreaker. You know, like when you win the game and like 2 people have to face off, I'll be like the random wild card. Like,
Why can't you just play?
what's with this girl trying to keep it simple here?
Is it because I took you out last week?
This girl's back talking the host.
I think she's taking control of the show.
She's not shy anymore. What the hell happened? What?
Wait, I think Yao is back. Yao, are you here?
Yes.
Holy shit, Yao. Yeah, you disappeared for a second, man. What were you, just smoking crack?
I didn't disappear. I'm here for one reason, and that's the opponent game when I'm coming after Jake's title.
I know where it is. I got it right here on the table. If any of you want it, come get it.
I'm ready.
You do have a challenger, Yao. You got Lexi saying she's calling in to take you out of this game.
Bring it. I was practicing with my sister all week.
We don't want to know that.
Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Why isn't this girl shy anymore? This is how you know it's a catfish.
I know why.
Why? What's happening, man? What's going on now? This is some bullshit going on now. What? You're a catfish the whole time, Lexi, and now the guy paid you extra money to talk this time, right?
So, Ramses, go fuck yourself.
Okay. All right, the opponent game, round 1, people. The rules for anybody that hasn't played it before. It's really simple. And I'll tell you the order real quick. This is the order. Well, it's rotating. You just name someone that the person has fought. So I'll name a UFC fighter, and then Jake has to name someone that he's fought. And then it's going to be Yao's turn, then Gavin's turn, Alan, and then our sweet Alexis.
So fighter A fought fighter B fought fighter C fought fighter D, but you can't use the same guy twice?
Exactly. You cannot name the same fighter twice. If you do, you automatically lose. We keep going until someone, until it's down to 1 man. So if you can't name an opponent, you're out of the game. We move on without you. You'll see. We'll go a couple rounds.
I also had an idea from last week. If someone isn't saying anything, just start counting down from 5, and if they can't think of anything by 0, that's it.
Right, exactly. There's no set time limit. We're just keeping it realistic here. We'll be able to tell. I am the judge now. Since I'm not playing.
Because I took you out last week.
No. It's
That
because...
was me.
And because you're not going to let Ramsey see his little baby.
That's right, my son. No, I'm not playing because I want to keep it objective and fair. And balanced, just like Fox News, people. It's a family show here.
I have a question.
What's up, Yao?
If you lose, does your soul go to the Word on the Street podcast still?
The minute you called in, it was already mine, son. Trust me.
Damn.
This is some Mortal Kombat shit.
Now, people, this is the name of the opponent game. This is round 1. Again, the guessing order, but I'll be prompting you because I know how it goes. It's going to go Jake, Yao, Gavin if he's still there, Alan, and then Alexis. That's the guessing order.
Why am I last?
Because you
Because
called
you're a
him.
woman.
No, because I'm going to take Jake out. Let's go.
Do it.
Yeah. Last person should have the advantage, I believe. Now, there is a new rule that I came up with in case something happens, but we'll get to that if it comes up. All right, people. Don't worry, it's going to be fair. So this is the game called the opponent game. Now, here we go, people. You ready? The first UFC fighter is Carlos, the natural born killer. Is that his nickname? Condit. Carlos Condit. Jake, name someone he has fought.
Georges Rush St. Pierre.
Yao.
Matt Hughes.
Gavin, are you there?
Dan Hardy.
Alan, it is your turn. Who has Dan Hardy fought?
Bang Ludwig.
Is that? Can I get confirmation on that?
Yep.
The
He
hell?
has, and
Is
it
that
sounds like
Batman riding by?
Yeah, someone's fucking. And yes, Hardy has fought Ludwig.
Okay. Sexy Lexi, who has Dwayne Bang Ludwig ever fought in the UFC? I am asking this question very slowly to give you time to respond.
Bullshit.
Dwayne Bang Ludwig, who
Bullshit.
has he fought in the Ultimate Fighting Championship organization?
Dude, that's not fair.
No, Alan
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alan screwed you on this one.
It had to be the fucking cop.
Well, we'll allow for a hint. What weight division does Dwayne Bang Ludwig? What division did he fight in?
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
Handicapped his old lady.
Hey, whose show is this, people? All right. Now, what
damn it.
division did Dwayne Bang Ludwig fight in? Anybody?
He was
Welterweight and lightweight.
Okay.
Super heavyweight.
You're just gonna have to take a guess, Lexi. Welterweight or lightweight? Some UFC fighter. Man, maybe he's even fought. I don't know. Maybe my favorite fighter out of Austin, Texas, before.
Who's black?
And I do have a black belt under someone he's fought before, an honorary black belt.
Dude, this is not fair. Okay, I skip.
Dude, he fought Amir.
What?
Just say any welterweight or lightweight, and you might guess right.
Amir.
Okay, my brother's gonna help me.
Amir.
Yeah. All right, you can phone a friend or a sibling.
Okay, I'm phoning.
New rule.
Amir.
Amir Sabdallah, just say it.
He fought Amir
Your
Sabdallah.
daughter.
Can someone confirm that for me?
Yeah, he did.
All right, there we go. And look, people,
and-
we've all played this game before. It was her first time. We won't give her any more chances after this.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Amir Sadallah, I remember, fought Johnny Hendricks.
Yep. Okay, so now you're fucked, Jake. Or sorry, Yao. No, I'm sorry. No, that was a good one.
Yeah, Johnny Hendricks is a pretty well-known fighter, dude.
I was gonna say I was still stuck on Amir Sabdallah. Sorry, I'm catching up now.
Yeah, I pulled it out of the mud for everybody.
Yao, Johnny Hendricks. Who has he fought?
Josh Koscheck.
Gavin, are you still there? Who has Koscheck fought?
Matt Hughes.
Oh, he just said that.
Oof.
That's a repeat, isn't it?
Womp, 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 womp. Yep, that was... Yep.
Cannot repeat the same fighter. It was the same round. Gavin, for the round one, you have been eliminated. This is just round one. Don't worry. You'll have another chance.
I'll be defending my belt multiple times tonight.
So we'll keep going, but Gavin is out. It is Alan's turn. It is still Matt Hughes. No, not Matt Hughes. Koscheck.
I'm going to do this one a solid because I only know it because they've been showing it on Fuel TV a whole lot. And I'm going to go with Yoshiyuki Yoshida. They've showed it like 12 They've showed it like 12 times on TV in the last 2 weeks.
You just fucked Lexi again.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Can you pronounce his name again?
Yoshiyuki Yoshida.
All right. Wait,
Wait,
is this a guy that has only fought in the UFC one time?
No, he
No, he had a handful
fought a
of
couple.
fights.
Oh yeah, I'm just stalling. Lexi,
No,
can you name someone that Yoshi did Makida?
dude.
I don't know.
Name someone Asian.
Yoshi did Jami?
Oh.
Welterweight?
Something Gomi.
Gomi? We'll take that. Has he fought Gomi? Can anybody confirm? I'd look him. I'd Google it, but I don't know how to spell Yoshi Matayami.
I couldn't tell you.
Alan, spell his last name.
He can fight Gomi.
Oh, dude, he's supposed to fight him. He's Asian.
Can I look it up, or would that be cheating?
Look it up. We have to confirm. I'm not the best judge. I've got 6 things going on.
Fuck you, Lexi. I am on TRT. Yoshida did not fight Takanori Gomi.
Oh, all right. Well, then that eliminates Lexi and Tito.
No.
Round 1 for now.
We will be playing again.
We will continue on. Jake, it is on you. You did look it up, so let's go ahead and pick somebody that he's fought.
I'll X out of the tab now, and I already know because I remember the knockout. He got knocked the fuck out by Anthony Johnson.
We will keep it going because Jake did help us out. Anthony Johnson, not that bad. He's not trying to fuck you, Yao. So name somebody that Anthony Johnson has ever fought in the UFC.
At least not on this game.
Vitor Belfort.
Vitor Belfort. We move on to Alan now. Who has Vitor fought in the UFC?
I'll do an easy one this time, and I'll do Anderson Silva.
Now that Lexi's gone, you're going to do an easy one. You're going to do Anderson Silva now. That's great, man. That's great.
That's a Brazilian move.
All right, back to Jake. Down to 3 people now. Anderson Silva. Who has he fought?
I was thinking about going with Chael, but just because of all of that... Wait, Yao is next, right?
Yes.
Hayato Sakurai.
Oof. Wow, what a bitch.
Ooh. Yao, the truth. It's on to you now. Name an opponent of... What the fuck was his name? Yao... What was his name?
Hayato Sakurai.
Yeah, Yao Sakurai.
Yo, Sakurai.
Yeah.
Yo, Sakurai.
I didn't know if I wanted to use him or Ryo Chonin, but yeah, Hayato Sakurai.
What do you got, Yao?
Ryo Chonin?
I thought we were doing the UFC.
Yeah, Jake.
I wasn't aware there was only one promotion in mixed martial arts.
No, but Ramsey said a person that the fighter has fought in the UFC.
Yeah, I fucking love you.
We do have
Kami.
Just tested positive for...
I gotta say we should keep that rule in place because then you could just name some obscure fighter every time, which is the secret rule that I was gonna bring up if it came up.
But what if you name a dude who's only had one UFC fight?
That is the rule that I came up with. That inherently might lead to some problems because obviously if anyone ever names Randy Couture, for example, you could name James Toney and automatically win the game, or eliminate the next opponent. So the rule is, if you name somebody that has only had one UFC fight, you continue, but it doesn't automatically disqualify the next guy. Next guy can still name another opponent. I thought about this, I struggled with it, but that is the fucking rule because I said so. Now, where were we?
All right, we're on Anderson Silva, and I'm gonna shout out the biggest movie star in MMA, the star of the best action film in our generation's history, Supreme Champion Stephan Bonner.
Holy shit! And before Yao responds, I will say that the next segment after the game is my quick review and petition for everyone listening to view the movie, download it, buy it, steal it. Supreme Champion.
Preferably download it. That way you don't give them any money for it.
I already ordered the DVD, man.
Steal it from a Walmart in Baton Rouge.
They don't carry that here.
Yep. Alan will laugh his ass off and let you go. Yeah, the truth. We've given you enough time, but it is an easy one. Stephan Bonner. Who has he fought in the UFC?
Forrest Griffin.
Nice. Alan Hamilton. Alan.
I mean, I'd have to go with Rashad Evans.
All right, back to Jake. Rashad Evans. Who has he fought?
Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
The Hollywood extra.
It's on you, Yao. Rampage Jackson. Who has he fought in the UFC that hasn't already been named? Uh-oh. Oh. It looks like Yao's call
Yeah, he dropped
pretended to drop out. I don't know what the ruling is in this
It's
situation.
a forfeit.
It's
Forfeit.
Is it? What do you guys
No,
think?
you should try and call him back once, but if he still isn't answering, then that's got to be a forfeit.
That's true. We'll give him one chance here.
Right.
Give a little 30-second rule here to reconnect because the internet is a bitch.
Yeah.
Let's see, yeah, and he is in Queens, so he's got that going against him. The internet in Queens.
Got like 12 million other Asian people trying to steal his Wi-Fi, you know.
Exactly. It's hard times, man. Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, yeah, isn't
Can I
answering.
still go?
Oh, holy shit. Last
He's
minute
back.
save. Holy shit, Yao. All right. You dropped out, but you are back. It is your turn. I believe it was it still Stefan Bonner? Name an opponent of Stefan Bonner.
It was
It was Rampage.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm smoking weed.
Rashad Evans.
Free Rosenthal and Bryan Caraway is a fancy boy. Sorry. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, I'll go on. Rampage.
Allen named Rashad Evans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thiago Silva.
Back to Allen.
You Googled it.
I didn't hear any typing.
Yeah,
I don't have
think
Google.
I don't think Rampage ever fought Thiago Silva.
Allen named Rashad Evans.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
See,
we
Yao
were on
lost the call.
Rampage.
No, Yao lost the
Oh.
call at that point. Yeah, Allen named Rashad, and then Jake named Rampage. We'll give you another chance. It was the internet's fault. Okay, so now
Wait.
it's on you, Yao. Name an opponent of Rampage. Sorry, Quentin Rampage Jackson in the UFC.
The axe murderer.
Vanderlei Silva. It's on you, Allen.
Well, I was watching TV today, and I saw the flashback of Chuck Liddell versus Vanderlei Silva.
Chuck Liddell, Charles Liddell. Jake, who has he fought in the
Bring
UFC?
bring it back, Tito Ortiz. Shout out to my boy Tito and Cali. What up, son?
Oh, what's up, boy?
Tito from Cali is on the call with us right now.
Tito Ortiz.
Tito
Yeah.
from Cali.
Yes.
Tito or tits.
Shit. What's up with some tits? Oh, we were we were talking about somebody's tits earlier. Who was it?
A girly MMA.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Hey, Lexi, you and her have to, become best friends, get together, do some videos,
Make a video,
on
yeah.
podcast. It's gonna be some good shit. We might have lost Lexi actually. Okay, sorry. Tito Ortiz, we are back to Yell the Truth. It is your turn, I believe.
Little Nog.
Little Nog. Alan, on you. Nogueira.
and who would have fought a Nogueira but Phil Davis.
Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis. Back to you, Jake. Name an opponent.
All right, I'll let Ramses get the last name for me, but I got Vinny.
Magalhães. Yell the Truth. Who in the UFC has Vinny Magalhães fought?
Igor Pokerjack.
He came through.
Yeah.
He's been paying attention. Alan,
All right.
who has Igor fought?
Fabio Maldonado.
He pulled through. Back to you, Jake. Fabio Maldonado. He wasn't named earlier, was he?
No, we were talking about him.
Okay.
Remember, I brought it up his fights.
Gotcha. All right, Jake, it's on you.
I remember Fabio got his face rearranged by Glover Teixeira.
Yell the Truth. Glover. Who was he fought?
Kyle Kingsbury.
I think I do remember that one. Alan, Kyle Kingsbury.
He got totally fucked up and his face rearranged by that dude named Manoa.
Jimmy Manua, or whatever it is. Jimmy Manure. Jake from the MMA podcast is a tough one.
Cyril Diabate.
Oof. Nice. Yell the Truth. Cyril Diabate. Surreal Diabate, whatever his name is. Yeah, are you still there, son? Come through,
Nick
son.
the Tooth.
Oh.
Ah.
Yao has been eliminated, leaving two people, Jake and Alan, on the guest opponent.
All right.
So here we go, down to two people. So it's a back and forth war now, people. They're going to be trading left and right. So we were stuck on, I believe, was it Cyril Diabate?
Yep.
Alan, back to you.
Anthony Perosh.
It's fucking hippo.
That's the guy who Vinny's gonna fight next.
It's the guy who lost to Ryan Jimmo in 7 seconds.
Ryan Jimmo, yes, that was a one-punch knockout. Back to you. Actually, we do reach an impasse, don't we? No. Ryan Jimmo. No, go for it.
He fought James Tahuna.
That's
Joey
true.
Beltran.
And fuck me. Fuck.
We'll give you 8.
He beat
7.
He lost to a few notable people. I can't think of anybody he beat.
He beat Igor Pekrajec in a split decision, but I can't think of fucking
I'm sorry, Jake.
Fuck.
Jake.
Pat Perry.
Nope. Jake is the winner of round 1. I have to declare it. I have to call it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We did get stumped on Joey Beltran. He has fought in the UFC. Igor, James Tahuna, LeVar Johnson, Stipe Miocic, Aaron Rosa, Pat Barry, Matt Mitrione, Tim Hague, Hollis Gracie Jr. Sure, whatever. So yeah, all right, Jake, you did win round 1. Congratulations.
Keep winning. You know where the belt is. You know where to get the belt. It's right here. You can try. Like fucking Chael P said, beat me if you can, cocksuckers. Nice.
Well, I do have to wonder what would have happened if Ross Finkelstein had made the podcast tonight. Who knows? But Jake has won round 1.
He would have gotten his ass handed to him in a paper bag.
Word. We will though, and hopefully Alexis jumped back on with my boy Tito there. Are you guys there? What's up?
Yeah, we're right here.
Excellent. We are going round 2. Name the opponent game. Round 2, people. Same order. Everyone turn it on right now.
Don't be a douche this time, Alan.
Give Lexi a chance. No, Alan's still here. He's just he's dozing off here. This is too easy. All right, guys. The second opponent, I'll start it off, and then Jake leads. We'll start off with Gray the Bully Maynard. Gray Maynard. Who has he fought, Jake, from the MMA podcast?
The pride of New Jersey, Frankie the Answer Edgar.
Yeah, it's on you. Who has Frankie fought?
Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo. Gavin, if you're still there. Jose Aldo. Who has he fought in the UFC, son? You got anything?
From the Team Alpha Homo, Chad Money Mendez.
Chad Mendez. Back to you, Alan.
Both of the Team Alpha Homos.
Chad Mendez beat Darren Elkins the last pay-per-view. Or last Fox card.
What a dig.
Darren Elkins.
It's the most recent fight he had. It's the easiest thing to remember.
That fight on 2 weeks' notice or something like that.
Damn.
So,
all right. Well, again, you're after Alan every time, Lexi and Tito, but it's on to you. The fighter is Darren Elkins, the plainest name of all time. Can you name someone that he has fought in the UFC?
Diego Brandel.
Nice.
All right, back to you, Jake.
I was about to feed up a hint and be like, don't go out with a bang. But Diego Brandao, he fought Dennis Bermudez in the Top 14 finale.
Yeah, it's on you.
Matt Grice.
Oh.
Matt Grice.
Nice.
Back to Gavin. Can you name someone that... I'm going to even have to look this up myself. Someone that Matt Grice has fought.
This is getting deep. That was a good one, y'all.
Thanks.
Oh, shit, dude. Jason Black?
That was... Oh, he got it. UFC 77, Jason Black.
Nice.
He won by split decision. Okay, so... back to Alan on the phone. Name someone that Jason Black has fought in the UFC. He has fought 2 fights in the UFC.
well, his only other fight was Thiago Tavares.
Got it. Thiago Tavares.
Tavares.
Nailed it, Alan. Holy shit. But
Jesus.
that's another curveball for Alexis and Tito. Name an opponent of Thiago Tavares.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Jason Black.
Wait, Tito's saying something. What was your answer? I'm sorry.
Sam Stout.
Sam Stout is correct. He did fight Sam Stout.
Hands of Stone.
Bringing it back to Jake from the MMA podcast. Name somebody that Sam Stout has fought.
All right, once again, I'm going to pull this game back out of the mud. Let's try and not put it back into the mud. Kenny Florian.
Ken Florian. That was at, what was it, the Ultimate Fighter 3 finale?
Yeah, it was 2 or 3.
3. Yes, sir. 2006. Holy shit. Bringing it back to Yao. Name someone that Kenny Florian has fought in his UFC career.
Guida.
Clay the Carpenter Guida. They fought at UFC 107. That is fucking correct.
I blinked out. Oh my god.
Yep.
I actually met Guida moments before that legendary time I smoked a J with Joey Diaz and Ari Shafir.
Oh, man. I wouldn't have slapped him in the face. I would have slapped his mama, though, if she'd been with him. I would have been like, what were you thinking?
It's a good call.
Back to Gavin Frost, staying alive here. Name someone that has fought Clay the Carpenter Guida.
Gray Maynard.
We did start off... Sorry, Gavin, we started off with me naming Gray Maynard as the original guy. You have been dropped out of this round, unfortunately, but you did surprise me with that last answer, though. I'm surprised you came through.
Yeah, I would not have been able to name a single fucking opponent of Jason Black. I would have lost.
Who the fuck is Jason Black? The only reason I had that...
He fights out of the military systems. He's a pretty good fighter.
Sure.
I believe you. The only reason I heard his name is because you said it, and I looked it up on Wikipedia immediately. Bringing it back to Alan now. We are still on Clay, the Carpenter Guida. Name somebody that he has fought.
He fought my boy, Hatsuhioki, who he fucking stole the fight from.
That was at UFC on Fox, Johnson versus Dodson. You are correct.
It was a robbery.
So naming another Asian fighter, fucking Lexi and Tito hard, is Alan. Can you name, it's on you, Lexi and Tito, can you name an opponent of Hatsu Hioki?
I'm pick the Llamas, boy.
Ricardo Lamas, they did
Cub
fight.
Swanson.
Oh, damn. Look at that bastard.
Damn, Cub Swanson, Jake coming back real quick. It is on Yao. Name somebody that Cub Swanson has fought.
The Diamond, Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier at UFC on Fuel TV, Barao versus McDonald. Going back to Alan, who has...
Fight of the century. Korean Zombie, Dustin Poirier. I love that fight.
That fight was
Chancellor
great.
Young.
Darce choke in the 4th round.
Easily the
Nice.
fight of 2012.
All right.
Yes.
The Korean Zombie, Chan, how the fuck do you say his name?
Chen Sung Jung.
Okay. Chan Sung Jung, Lexi and Tito. Who has he fought in the UFC?
Mark Homnick.
Mark Hominick is correct. UFC 140, it went down. Bring it back to Jake. Mark Hominick.
Can we do WEC? Can we just say Zoof?
No.
Like do UFC, WEC? Strike.
It's gotta be UFC. Unless they've only had one UFC fight.
I'll go Pablo Garza.
Pablo Garza is correct. UFC 154, he lost a decision. Yeah, the truth. Pablo Garza.
I actually was gonna bring up that mark ass bitch Bryan Caraway because Hominick fought him in the WEC, but go ahead.
No problem. Yao Pablo Garza.
Brittany Palmer.
Yao has been
That was a great fight.
eliminated from round 2. We are down to Jake, Alan, Lexi, and Tito. It's Alan's turn now. Name an opponent of fucking Pablo Garza. Alan, sorry, it's your turn. Pablo Garza.
Jabouin.
Who?
Yves Chavouin. UFC 129. That counts. So, once again, screwing over Lexi and Tito. Name
It's
an
not screwing him over. He's fought a couple of times.
You're just too good in the order I put you in.
No, it's
very
just
unfortunate.
I know all the shitty fighters.
Is he shitty? Well, Eves is.
No, Jabon, he's pretty good. He's got some good stand-up.
Yeah, he's legit. It's just if a guy's got wrestling on him, he can't do anything with it.
Word. All right. Well, let's see if Lexi and Tito have ever fucking heard of this guy. Yves Jabouin, or Jabouin, however you want to pronounce it. Who has he fought in the UFC?
One Punch, Pickett.
Brad Pickett, that was the Struve. Miocic back in fucking last year, I think. I don't
Like the
know.
beginning of the year, dude.
Brad Pickett, back to you, Jake.
Friend of the show, Eddie Wineland.
Eddie Wineland, UFC 155. He lost in a split decision. Alan, back to you. Eddie Wineland.
He fought Jorgensen. Scotty, I got messed up skin condition, Jorgensen.
Spotty.
Vitiligo, people. UFC on Fox. Johnson versus McCall. Yep. Back to you, Lexi. Scott Jorgensen. Who is he?
Faber.
Uriah Faber.
Wow.
He fought Uriah Faber last month in the Ultimate Fighter 17 finale. Lost rear naked choke. It was a total work. And Jake, sorry, you named Barao already?
Yep.
Barao, back to you, Alan.
Fuck.
Uh-oh. Henan Barao.
Oh, Michael McDonald for the
Michael
title
McDonald.
fight. The title fight, I remember.
New day.
You got it. UFC on Fuel TV. It was the title fight, Barao versus McDonald. Back to you, Lexi. Michael McDonald, who has he fought?
That's one. Angel Torres.
Who?
Miguel Angel Torres.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Angel Torres.
I thought you just said Angel Torres. And I was
Sounds like
like,
you're
what?
reading something.
Miguel Torres. Yeah, no cheating, by the way, but we'll give it to you. Miguel Torres. Who has he fought in the UFC, Jake?
Mighty Mouse.
Demetrius Johnson. That was UFC 130.
Dude, I
John Dodson.
John Dodson. There goes Alan. That was a title fight again. Back to you, Lexi.
It's a DD. Oh, what's his name? He's from fucking Alabama.
Oh, Benavides?
No, that white guy.
No.
Oh, TJ Dillashaw.
TJ Dillashaw, the Ultimate Fighter 14 finale. Back to you, Jake. TJ Dillashaw.
Nice. Who did he just fight? Fuck, it was last month. Hugo Wolverine, yeah.
Hugo.
Viano, yeah, whatever.
There
the fuck
you
his
go.
name
All right,
is.
we'll give it to Hugo Viana, the Wolverine.
Yeah, I
Hey,
watched Tough One, and they called they didn't bring up his last name once. The entire show they called him Hugo Wolverine. It was weird.
Yeah, because he's got those chops. The only reason why I know who one of the people he fought was I did watch the Ultimate Fighter Brazil or whatever, and for the finale for that, I remember he fought that guy from Team Elite, from MMA Elite, Ruben Duran, who got released recently.
Ruben Duran is correct. So, back to you, Cheeto and Lexi. Who has Ruben Duran fought in the UFC? He has had 4 fights.
Rivera.
We'll give you 3 seconds for a legitimate answer that is not a mumble. I think it is safe to say that Lexi and Tito have been eliminated from round 2, leaving it down.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up on you, Ramses, you piece of shit.
Love you.
I know you are. What a bitch.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I have to put up with and come home to every night, people. Anyway, we're down to Jake and Alan, all right? This is an intense round 2. We are on Ruben Duran. Jake, can you name someone he's fought in the UFC?
Yo, he just fought, like my boy Chris likes to call him, Poop Roop.
George Roop at UFC 158. Alan, back to you.
Well, since I am not a fan of George Roop, fuck.
It's a tough one.
I know he fought like fucking Korean Zombie and Leonard Garcia in WEC, but I that's like the only 2 fucking fights.
Yep.
Maybe Hatsu Hiyoki, but I already said that, so
Exactly.
I don't know. Was Hioki brought up yet?
He was brought up.
yeah, they
So-
fought in that was Hiyoki, one of his like first wins, because he won 2 and then he's lost 2.
Yep. So I gotta say, people, that does eliminate Alan, leaving Jake winning round 2. There is no need for round 3. Jake is once again the winner of the opponent game on the Word on the Street podcast.
The belt's right here, people. Come and get it next week.
Someone's coming for you, dude.
I'll be coming to your house in the middle of the night with my goggles from my night vision, and I'm gonna steal it.
From the back of Soldier of Fortune.
Just like a gangster.
If I woke up and a cop was robbing my house, I'd probably freak the fuck out. Like, what the fuck do I do? Do I call 911? Like, what?
You don't do nothing, son.
You just sit back and watch.
Yep. And just for anybody out there that's a nerd listening, maybe fucking 30 years from now in the future, listening to the archives, smoking that future weed, George Roop, he did fight in the UFC. He fought Ruben Duran, who was named... Yeah, Ruben Duran, who was named Cub Swanson, who was named Hatsuhiogi, who was named. He also had a fight in The Ultimate Fighter with Josh Grisby. He also fought Mark Hominick, who we did name. And he fought George Soteropoulos.
Yeah, that was the only one I could come up with that hadn't been named already.
Yep, and he fought Dave Kaplan at UFC 98. And his first UFC fight sort of was the Ultimate Fighter finale where he fought Shane Nelson. That was a damn good game. Hats off to you, Jake. You're dominating. I do believe that you will meet your match next week in Ross Finkelstein, however. He's coming back, people.
I might meet my match, but Ross Finkelstein's about to meet his maker.
God bless that Jew. He's the best Jew in the business. Trust me, people. I will be asked.
That Son and Vanderlei poster he fucking made was unbelievable. Like, I thought it was the official poster.
Hey, yep. I'm getting it printed out. I'm getting a big old thing of it. I'm getting it printed out.
Oh, badass! Have you contacted Ross? Because he can probably give you the original, like, high quality,
high def. Yeah.
He told me on Twitter one time that any of his prints that he can I can PayPal him and he can mail them. So if anybody else is interested.
Oh, badass! Yeah, definitely worth it. He is very damn good at the graphic arts. He did come up with, for the people that don't know what the fuck we're even talking about, he came up with a little promo poster. He does graphics. It was the Chael Sonnen versus Vanderlei Silva Fox Sports 1 promo. It looked so damn realistic. Chael, of course, used it as his background for a few days until I'm hearing that, Fox Sports made him remove it, of course, because he is not their marketing department. Neither is the internet. They don't want him putting a brand out for a fight that they haven't marketed yet or announced.
They're just jealous because the one that they make's not going to look that good.
No kidding, man. It was a damn good one. Every website took off with it. Everybody was using it. Hats off to the Jew, Ross Finkelstein. We love
the intelligent Jew.
No kidding, man. God bless him. Now, podcast, I guess we should, 2 more topics before we just fucking call it a night here. I do want to mention that, Alan, you actually were on a podcast or 2 ago recommending the movie, I believe it was you, the Stephen Bonner movie called Supreme Champion. What was that you that...
I wouldn't say that I recommended it.
Right. Well, you made us aware that it existed.
Pointed out that it was probably the most fucking horrible movie of all time, and that even though they had that many MMA fighters involved in it, the fight scenes were still totally fucking bogus and ridiculous.
Well, it was one of the goddamnedest movies I have ever seen. Whenever I watch an MMA movie, I'm always hoping it's either... like, maybe this is the one that they're going to fucking get right. It's going to be awesome, mind-blowing. It's either I hope that it's that, or I hope that it's so fucking bad I'm laughing my ass off the entire time. And Supreme Champion, it's starring Stephen Bonner, released in the year 2009, is one of the worst MMA movies ever made, and for that reason, it's one of the best. You have to download it, watch it, buy it. Maybe it's still in theaters somewhere. Who knows?
Catch it on Netflix.
Definitely. It is called Supreme Champion. Stephen Bonner, it's not like he's playing a cameo role. He is the fucking star of this movie. He plays...
Unfortunate.
He did the best he could. His name in the movie is Troy Jennings. Troy Jennings, little hero sounding name. Basically, he's this movie goes all over the place. He's an MMA fighter in the beginning of it. The movie opens up with scenes of, the opening credits and then scenes of his early fights in his actual real life career. Like you're seeing some of Stephen Bonner's personal home movies, home pictures. They're trying to set you up. That's Troy Jennings. You know, that's his life. He's an MMA fighter. They even show his first MMA fight where he managed to somehow choke out Brian Ebersol, which is perplexing to me, man. So this movie fucking starts off, and I was watching it. I couldn't believe I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I just got to tweeting about what the hell was going on so I could remember. But just here's all you need to know about the movie Supreme Champion, all right, people? These are the fucking highlights and why you have to see this right now, however you can. Basically, after they intro Troy Jennings, a.k.a. Stephen Bonner, they do that for the opening credits, and then, you know, he has some sort of stupid scene where you know right away he's not going to give this one a serious acting whirl. 9 minutes into the movie, there's a strip club scene immediately. They're showing tits all over the place.
Boobs!
Hell yeah.
Boobs!
Yep, there's titties all over the place. They're looking good. Not as good as my girly MMA, though. But that's 9 minutes into the movie, just in case people are getting ready to turn that shit off. 11 minutes in, they reveal that Stephen Bonner's his character Troy Jennings is actually of course, a war vet, a Congressional Medal of Honor winner. They actually stress this at least 3 times throughout the course of the movie, that he's won the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's one of these movies. He actually, yeah, you were right, Alan. It does have a few known UFC fighters in the damn movie. It's got, I think, Sokaju. One of them is Gilbert Melendez, though. There's this fight scene where before it's Stephen Bonner's fight, Gilbert Melendez is in there fighting somebody who proceeds to beat him to death in the cage. Literally beats him to death. The ref's like, his heart stopped, man. I guess it's over. Nobody's doing shit. And Stephen Bonner's in the crowd, and he's like, holy shit, that man's gonna die if he doesn't have CPR. He says something like that. So Stephen Bonner runs into the cage, gives Gilbert Melendez mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, administers CPR in the cage, brings him back to life. As soon as Gilbert Melendez does come back to life in this movie, he looks at Stephen Bonner and says, why are you kissing me? I ain't a fancy boy. Something like that. It's a damn good movie, people. You have to see it. Eventually it stops being an MMA movie, and Stephen Bonner, for some reason, he has a gun in the woods and he's being hunted by a billionaire. That's the plot twist. Yeah, we've all seen that movie before, but you've never seen it like this. The ending will leave you it'll change your fucking life. You won't know what the hell you just watched. You won't know what it meant, but you'll live your life differently from then going forward. Alan, you saw the movie. Honestly, did you actually buy... You are yawning. You should be.
No, it's me, dude. I'm fucking like... that fucking snacks mellowed me the fuck out, dude.
Okay, oh, he's scared. Wait, has anybody else besides me and Alan seen this fucking movie?
I saw the trailer. I'm still planning on seeing it soon.
I vouched for this movie, and you didn't fucking download it right away, man. I can't believe...
I have it. No, I did, but I just still haven't watched it.
You're cheating yourself, man. Yao, you haven't seen this piece of shit, have you?
No, I'm not going to watch. I've seen the trailer, but it really looks so bad. Like, it looks really bad. And I haven't seen a bad movie in a long time, and I don't want to mess up that streak, so...
Hey, like Ramsey's called it a piece of shit. Let me just expound on that. It's not only a piece of shit, it's a whole steaming pile of shit wrapped up into about an hour and 30 minutes of screen time.
It is...
Do yourself a favor, fast forward it to the 9-minute mark, check out the boobs, and then turn that shit off.
Big ass titties. There is an implied sex scene with Stephen Bonner. This girl's all up on his shit, and then the next minute they're just like sitting in bed with the silk sheets. He's got his shirt off. It's one of those things. And he's like, half the time after he says a line, Stephen Bonner is like looking into the camera to see when it turns off. It's a great movie. You have
He's
to
looking for
see it.
Forrest Griffin to come out and help bring him back to relevance.
There's a fucking 10-minute long scene in the movie where Stephen Bonner, he's tied up by the mob boss billionaire, and he's chained up, and he's being beaten by like the mob boss's goons, and there's like classical music playing, and I guess the director was trying to go all deep with it, like showing the torture of Troy Jennings. It'll change your life, people. You watch.
You should have got Anderson Silva for that.
You gotta watch the movie Supreme Champion tonight, motherfuckers. That's the word on the street, god damn it. Alright, guys. Now, we'll just go around one more time. We're gonna say goodnight at this point. I have no idea how fucking long we've been podcasting, but thank you all for calling and joining in. Let's just go one more round here. Jake from the MMA podcast, dude, do you have anything else about the UFC that maybe we didn't touch? How can people contact you? Jesus, man. What else you got in case I'm missing something that somebody desperately wanted to bring up?
Trying to think. We covered a lot. Maybe just there's really nothing. I was gonna say the Mark Hunt thing, but I think that's probably gonna sort itself out in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it. I think it's all over Mark Hunt. We're gonna see Roy Nelson stepping in. Whatever. Yeah, the truth.
So wait, I was just gonna say follow us on Twitter, the MMA Podcast. You know what's up.
Exactly. Yeah, the truth. Where can people reach you on Twitter? Did you have any parting thoughts here on the Word on the Street podcast?
You know, I used to have stage 4 cancer until I followed the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter.
That's right, man.
And I can tell you this, if you have anything that you want to get off your chest,
including cancer,
any illnesses, anything that's wrong, you're feeling like just ending your life, just follow him on Twitter.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
You're
Word on the
damn
street.
You're damn right, yeah, the truth.
You forgot to mention the Black Zillions again, yeah.
Oof. That's true. Well, he'll shove that in our faces if Vitor Armstrong wins this Saturday. But I do have to say, yep, people, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, they sent me an email. It just said they're all out of wishes. Hats off to these kids, man. You know, they're doing the right thing. They're following me on Twitter. Gavin Frost, how can people contact you on Twitter? Did you have anything else you wanted to say UFC related or non? Whatever, anything goes on the Word on the Street podcast. What's up, Gavin?
Nothing much. If anybody wants to get in contact with me, just hit me up on GavinFrost361 on Twitter.
Awesome. He is a good guy, people, no matter what you hear. Alan, what's the damn...
Yep. Hold on, I wanted to add something.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time, it's mainly, speed off like, a lot of works that can go down in the UFC, and I believe today's UFC is totally fixed, so you'll be reading a lot of those.
My kind of guy. He is reading between the lines as far as the UFC matchmaking goes. I always appreciate a person that can agree with my point of view. Fight fixing does go on, people, right in front of your very eyes, but I'm not against it.
It's how they make their fucking money nowadays, dude.
And it's how they entertain the fans. We all want it on some level. I'm not against it. I'm just not going to pretend that I don't see it.
Well, I don't want to get my fucking money stolen from me for something they want me to think is real.
Yeah.
Even if they are fixing fights, they're stealing your money more when you have fights like where George St. Pierre, the entire fight boosted up. I have never been so upset inside my head. I don't think people know how dark I get inside my head sometime.
The wealth.
I like to eat banana at night. You are not supposed to eat banana in morning. You're supposed to eat at night. No, just they pumped that up to this. I mean, Bill Burr put it perfectly on his podcast, saying that he isn't a big UFC fan, but he saw the promotion, and the only reason he bought the pay-per-view as a casual fan is saying, whoa, George St. Pierre, I know who that is, and that's a really polite, respectful, genial guy, and he's saying the shit like, I want to hurt Nick Diaz, I want to make his mom hurt, I want to make his brother hurt, like saying all this crazy shit, and then Bill Burr said at the end of the fight he felt gypped, he felt ripped off, because did you have GSP going, yes, I am champion, you are punk? No, he literally, like, after Diaz like, man, I'm fucking retiring, he says, no, Nick, please, you're a good guy, and he's like raising his hand up in the air like, yeah, come on, Nick.
It's all like, Nick, you really won that fight, but I don't want to give up my belt.
Nick, you're a good guy. It's like all right. So you're gonna sell the fight on the fact that GSP is pissed off at him, and then in interviews, GSP is gonna be like, "No, I was not pissed off." Are you fucking kidding me?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all about the marketing nowadays. It's not really about the fighting, to be honest.
Yeah, your boy's got a marketing degree, son. He knows all about that bullshit.
Well, it is what it is, people, but I'm saying they're doing a good job of marketing sports blended in with entertainment, crossing over into both fields, I gotta say. I will never, I'll never be like, that's the thing. You brought up something good, Gavin. If you're sitting there paying money betting on people, I don't bet the UFC fights as of late because I have spotted too many works. It is getting into that territory lately. Ever since 2012, it's just been getting a little bit more blatant to the point where I'm not willing to put down money anymore. But I'm not any less of a fan, though. I love the quote sport. I love the entertainment. I don't watch any legitimate sports with brackets and fucking legitimate, ladder tournaments. I don't watch that shit because
no ladder matches.
If they put that in the UFC, I would be down for it, actually. You know what I'm saying? I think if you're down, if your corner wants
dude,
to
I would love to see some WWE type shit going to the octagon. I'll be honest with you, dude.
No kidding, man.
I would totally pay to see that shit.
A little Hell in a Cell match? Why not, man?
Fucking ladder match.
They should bring Brock.
I thought every match was a Hell in a Cell match in the UFC.
That's true. Well, what else do they do that's fucking... we talked to a guy on Tuesday who was in...
ECW.
We talked to it. We had a guest on the podcast on Tuesday. He was the first guy in a 2-on-2 MMA match. It was two guys versus two guys in the cage at the same time.
He was so embarrassed when we brought that shit up. He's like, oh no.
It was fucking ridiculous. But, I mean, if it went down at an Indian casino, I'd be... If the UFC is going to go gimmicky rigging fights blatantly... Why not have a 2-on-2 match? Why not have what's the one where it's like a chamber match or something in the WWE?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Elimination Chamber, where they have like two guys started out and then they have four guys and then they're each in like a pod, and after like every 5 minutes another person gets released until all seven of them it's pretty crazy.
You would need at least 3 or 4 referees though, is the problem with MMA though. But we'd like to see something like that. Hell, that would be fucking awesome. And with that, well, unless Alan, you got something else to add? What's up?
I do have something. Did anybody see? I know they gave back Pat Healy's bonus for the submission, but didn't he get fight in the night as well?
He got something else, right?
I think he got both of his bonuses taken away from him. He won fight of the night and submission of the night.
Did they give anybody else the fight of the night bonus yet?
I don't think they're...
Can everybody do me a favor? Anybody out there listening, tweet Dana White. If you didn't watch the prelims, tweet Dana White and ask him if Steven Siler versus Kurt Hollabaugh can have the fight of the night bonus, because those two dudes fought their heart out.
Yeah, and Steven...
Awesome fight. Now, Steven Siler is a stand-up guy. Kurt Hollabaugh, I followed up with him because he lives near me. And, their fight was a really good back-and-forth battle. It was a war.
Yeah, and Steven Siler actually tweeted to Dana White and asked him what was going to happen with the fight of night bonus.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I tweeted Dana White already, and I tweeted
was
all
that
of
the
them.
last UFC?
Yeah.
Actually,
Steven Siler against... What was the name again?
Kurt Hollabaugh. Actually, I think...
They did fight their asses off.
I actually wondered that and looked into it, and from what I saw, I think they took the sub of the night away from Healy and gave it to Caraway, but they're not going to give the fight of the night bonus to anyone new because they don't want to take the money away from Jim Miller, because Jim Miller didn't do anything. So Miller's going to keep his bonus, and the UFC is just going to be $65,000 richer, from what I can tell.
Still, everybody tweet them and tell them to give Seiler and Hollabaugh that $65,000 split.
All right,
that's a good thing you brought that up.
Yeah.
Just do it.
You definitely should tweet Dana, because the money should go to Seiler and Hollabaugh, but like from a realist standpoint, chances are I bet that $65,000 ends up on a blackjack table in front of Dana White.
Wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure Dana White wouldn't miss that $65,000. But
wait a second. Okay, so you're saying we should tweet Dana White. Tell him to give the $65K to Steven Seiler. However, I'll play devil's advocate here. I honestly don't remember that fucking fight, so sell me on it, people. What happened? Which fight are you talking about?
It was the back and forth action, dude.
Yeah, it was the very first fight. It was awesome. It was amazing. They came out. They were both swinging. They were both, getting top position, sweeping, back up on their feet. Almost, one guy almost finished the fight with a choke. The other guy almost finished the fight.
Hollabaugh fought through that fucking choke, dude. That was fucking tight.
Yeah, and I mean, the third round, I think Hollabaugh, just his conditioning, he took the fight on a short notice fight. And, he just, towards the end, Seiler wore him out and kind of just picked him apart in that third round.
All right.
But it was an epic fight.
Okay, so this was the prelim on UFC 159, correct?
I think it was Facebook. I think it was the Facebook fight, but it was awesome.
Right. Okay, people, I'm going to fucking rewatch that fight after we get off here. You guys check it out. UFC 159.
The money definitely should go to Seiler and Hollabaugh, but really, if you want to be capitalistic here, if you're going to give the money to anybody, why did we all buy the pay-per-view? Why was the gate at UFC 159 $2.7 million? Why were 15,000 people in attendance? It was to see Chael P.
You're goddamn right.
Hey, we already know that the People's Champion is sitting on about $10 million from that fight.
He's doing just fine. The man's about to buy the WWE.
Yep. They don't even put his money on paper anymore. He is good at hiding his wealth, just like the Bush family. Trust me on this, people. He's richer than you can ever imagine. He's got no reason to even step in the octagon, but he did it for the fucking fans. God bless Chael Sonnen, and God bless the UFC, Dana White, Lorenzo Fertina, Alan, Gavin Frost, Yao the Truth, Jake from the MMA podcast, Tito from Cali, and his sweet, loving sister, my Twitter girlfriend, Lexi. God bless you all, people. With that, we will end the recording of this podcast, and we will cease to go live here. I do thank you all. This is the Word on the Street podcast. We'll be live on Tuesday with Keto Andrews and Coach Jamie, the living legend, Huey. With that being said, follow the Angie Show on Twitter. And, people, we are out.